What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking down the final stage of the 10th anniversary battle here against the 10th anniversary LRs, the part 2 ones here. So we only have one mission left to go. We have got to clear this with a Resurrected Warriors team. So this is the funky build that I have put together. Quite a weird, not cohesive team, but just made up of a lot of individually strong units. So we'll see if this is going to happen or not. I do want to attempt to take down the Gohan fight. In the last two missions, you know, with the Crota Body and Mind team, we cleared the Universe Survival Saga stage, and then, you know, against the Blue Evolution Vegeta, and then the Tag Switch Goku Frieza, and then with the Realm of Gods team, we cleared the Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight. So we are going to try to finish this off by going up against the Gohan here, just so that we can say we've cleared all three of them. But it is very possible that this team just won't have what it takes to, you know, make anything happen against this guy. It is a really nasty one-phase fight. So we did bring this support memory here, which is actually going to reduce the enemy's attack stat for the first 3 turns. Since it's such a wonky team that doesn't have really like a cohesive you know, category among it where we could use like one of the support memories that's going to buff us or something, I figured it was smart to just use one that can lower his attack, since he can be attack lowered. And that is kind of like his gimmick, is that he just hits really hard, right? Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and start out like this. So we have, right away, we do have the revive available. I'm thinking, I mean, I guess I just kind of had to like jump into the fight and see what it looks like, but with all of these slot 1 attacks that are happening, I don't think anybody here can even tank this stuff, right? Like, Boo, like, okay, so he's got, I guess let's take a look at the stats of the boss really quick that we're facing off against. So he's got 350 million HP, 700k on normals, 2.1 million on super attack. He can only super attack once per turn, and there's no cooldown for it, so it can happen at any point, which means it's likely to happen slot 1, but it only has a 1% chance to proc, which is very, very low, obviously. So we're not going to be seeing him super that often. It looks like for the most part, he's just going to be dishing out a crap ton of normals at us. And then we also have to consider these couple of things he's immune to, and then with each turn passed, starting from the second turn up, he's just getting more and more defense as we go on, and then with each attack received, he's getting more and more attack. So eventually these normals are going to be hitting really, really hard. Okay, and he has a 100% chance to change the key sphere, so every single turn he's going to be mixing up our board. Okay, so that's basically what we're facing off against right now. So I guess with his attack being as low as it is, maybe we can depend on the STR Boo there at the first slot, because he has such a low percentage chance to actually super us. So with that being considered, let's go ahead and keep Boo right where he's at. And then we'll keep the Imp Boos. I do want to keep the Fat Boos on opposite rotations, because I want to be able to depend on the revive, you know, at a quick moment's notice whenever we need to, right? Because I'm sure there will come a point, and obviously it's at first it's going to take a little bit of experimenting just to see how hard this boss hits to begin with. Okay, so yeah, it looks like up front we did make the right choice here. We are able to tank those normals pretty well. But yeah, if we get to a point where it's looking like a guaranteed death, then that's where we can throw the Fat Boo in the way of whatever attacks and just have him get KO'd, and then not worry about it from there. Because then obviously a little bit later we're going to have access to those Ghost Usher active skill turns. That's going to help us do, you know, stay safe for a little bit longer. But yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Oh, wow, and he is already launching that super. So I'm curious if we're just done for here immediately, because that super is going to hit very hard. Oh, no. Okay, so yeah, it looks like name of the game is he is going to be just hitting a lot harder later on, right? Once his attack has built up a lot more. Interesting stuff, okay. But I guess that does make sense, because Kid Boo was raising his stats with all those attacks received, plus all the attacks performed too, right? So, and then obviously the super attack effect, raising his defense, he would have been at a pretty solid defense number, so. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so the weakest unit on our team probably is going to be the tag switch Goku Frieza. And, you know, right away off the bat, just jumping in here, I'm thinking that's probably the unit that if we're unable to, like, win the fight, we'll have to probably rotate off and find a suitable replacement for. Let's see. Who do we want in slot 1 here? I think we'll probably be fine with the Majin Vegeta there. We can get all the orbs that he needs in order to look decent. And then we can do the same thing for Boo here. And remember that he's going to be changing the field every single turn, so there's no sense in like savoring orbs or anything. We did get decently lucky there to be able to get that 24 key off with the Goku Frieza as well. I think that makes them look a little bit better. Oof. Okay, yeah, the slot 1 definitely hurts there. We didn't have a really solid slot 1 on this second turn, right? That is kind of one of the things that hurts this team overall anyway. We don't really have slot 1 units here. So yeah, that definitely does hurt them. Obviously, once Majin Vegeta transforms, we'll have access to a little bit more damage reduction, but that's about it. He's still going to look a lot better post-super. I mean, Kid Buu is really our most reliable slot 1, but it's just because he has type advantage and his defense is going to be so high. Okay, should we? We probably should tank this, right? Surely. Oh, well, no, because it's Majin Vegeta in base. He has to transform first before that's going to be, like, viable for him at all. Okay. We want a Boo friend. We have a Boo friend. There we go. Maybe we should... Okay, right away... Well, it's... Okay, the tough thing is that we're limited by this leader skill, right? Because we can't just pick any Resurrected Warrior characters. We're kind of limited by that leader skill. Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind as we go on. I do want to give 1 or 2 more attempts to this fight. I think... Like, you know, I want to see how basically every single unit on the team is going to perform. Okay, so yeah, we have, like, the Tech Cell here this time around. That's going to be nice. Let me give myself a reminder of what his kit is looking like. He gets the healing on super attack, which is nice. Okay, so he's got 20% damage reduction... And then the additional 20 from there being a super class enemy. So he's at 40% damage reduction. And then with the nuking as well. So yeah, he might look kind of decent in slot 1 if we're able to select a lot of orbs with him. He could be pretty impressive as well. But I really would like to... I mean, I like the way that this turn 1 performed last time. So I think we're just going to keep it the same way again. With the Kid Buu up front there. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we can still make sure to get a lot of orbs with Cell. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, worst case scenario, if we're unable to make anything happen against the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here, then we could probably just switch to one of the other fights. I would probably be the Super Saiyan 3 Goku one. Seems like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku one is like the easiest one overall. I think that the Evolution Blue Vegeta and then the Tag Switch Goku Frieza fight is going to be a little easier just for the Kuroda Body and Mind team. Like for that mission, simply because of how many strong Kuroda Body and Mind characters are physical type, and most of that fight is int. So that gets a little easier for them. But yeah, I think if we do have to switch, we'll probably switch to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight. Okay. Let's see how we tank this. Decently. Okay. We weren't KO'd or anything. But obviously, again, that's just going to continue to get stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. All right. Cell pulling out 19 million. Definitely good. He is tanking very well as well. All right. The Boo's providing massive amounts of healing for us. Definitely helpful. Yeah, this is a pretty treacherous turn, right? We don't really have anybody in slot 1 that's going to be doing good things, because Boo doesn't have, like, any damage reduction or anything, right? Let's see. He just gets, like, a ton of healing. I mean, he is guarding. And that's basically it. Okay, so we're probably just going to get KO'd in the first slot here, but that's fine. We do want to experiment a little bit with getting, like, the revive activated and stuff. So, yeah, this should be okay. And then, worst case, if we do survive, we'll try to prioritize some good key sphere selection for these guys as well. There we go, and we're able to get the 24 key for Goku Frieza. Okay, yeah, so it's gonna be an instant death here. But that's fine, we will get the revive. Oh, we dodged the super. I was like, oh no. Okay, so the revive is coming out pretty early here, which obviously this team is going to get better as time goes on, because we'll have access to active skills, transformations, build up, things like that. So we are looking the weakest at the very start, so that's the one, like, good thing about using the revive early on, is that, you know, we will have a little bit more power to go, you know, to handle attacks and stuff a little bit later. And here's one of the things coming in right now is the transformation into Majin Vegeta. Perfect. Okay, so I think still the idea is going to be this. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best way to run it. We've already got 1 million defense on this Kid Buu, so he is absolutely going to be one of our best, like, slot 1 units for this team, especially having the type advantage. And then I want to try to prioritize getting the entire passive skill activated for Majin Vegeta. So all those red orbs on the side should do it. Yeah, perfect. The 1 rainbow orb that we need plus the 6 type key, or the 6 key spheres overall, gets his full passive up. Okay, so we're already looking at a 20 million attack stat with Kid Buu here. He is definitely going to be our strongest attacker on the team, right? So yeah, the more damage we can see with this guy per turn, the better off we're going to be, right? And then I suppose I don't really have an issue using items. We do also have the Whis that we can use. Yeah, I don't really see any issue with that. We already did the no item mission with the Realm of Gods team, so we don't really need to stretch ourselves to that length as far as, like, forcing ourselves to do it with no items. So I guess as long as we can get the W, then that's all I really care about. So yeah, I guess just factoring in that we have already used the revive early on, we might end up having to depend on some item usage here. But yeah, we can only delay so much because we're going to have, you know, whatever item usage turns, and then we have the Ghost Usher active skills that are also going to help out. But then beyond that, we don't have too much left in the tank. I guess we do have the Vegito turn as well. We're going to be able to transform with the Vegito here. That will be a little bit helpful. Okay, do we live this? Do we live this? Oh, wow, yeah, we do. We massively live it. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so... Okay, so right away here, we do have access to the Ghost Usher. Um, let's see. I guess, okay, so we should probably do this. I think this is how we should run the turn. Because if we use the Ghost Usher now, and then we use the Ghost Usher next turn, then when we come back, we'll be able to use the Vegito active skill. And then we want to keep him on rotation. Yeah, this works out well. Okay, so let's use the Ghost Usher active here. Because this provides a couple of things, right? One, if we didn't use the Ghost Usher here, we would need to put Cell in slot 1. So now we don't have to do that. Because, you know, putting the Cell in slot 1, we also want to keep the Fat Boo on rotation if we weren't going to use the Ghost Usher, just to make sure that we still have access to it on, you know, the alternating turns, because we've got the other Int Fat Boo on the other side. But then what I'm prioritizing here is now we don't have to tag switch the Goku, because if we still had the attacks coming in, we would, at this point, want to tag switch him to try and build the defense and stuff, and to give him the extra damage reduction for the turn. But now that we don't have any attacks, we can focus on raising his attack power a little bit more for that Vegito turn that's going to be coming up here in a minute, right? I'm going to select these orbs because I think we'll get a little bit more better orb selection with the Cell. Yeah. There we go. So we'll have a more heavily damaging turn there. But yeah, that way we can prioritize, you know, 2 turns from now when we end up doing the Vegito active. We'll have a bit more attack power on him. And then also now we don't have to rotate off the Vegito entirely. Because obviously it would have been better for our links and stuff to keep the Cell with the Boo if we were going to have to worry about like defense this turn. But yeah, I think this works out fine. Overall, this is probably the best option. The only one thing that hurts about it, though, is that the ideal rotations would be to have Cell and Boo, and then to have the 2 Boos on the opposite rotation. So the fact that we're rotating Cell off now is a little bit... It hurts us a little bit here. But I'm just hoping that that will be a worthwhile trade-off with the Vegito transformation that we're getting out of it instead 1 turn earlier, right? So we'll see. Maybe that was a huge blunder. But again, only time will tell here. And we still haven't used either of our Whis yet. We still have those to depend on, so that's another thing to consider here. Oh no, why don't we have the Ghost Usher active? Whoops. Let's see, what is the condition for it again? The activation condition, starting from the 7th turn, or after the revival. Oh. Okay, that's because the other one revived and this one didn't, so it's not available yet. We have to wait until turn 7. Okay, so then all of a sudden that makes this turn very scary. So the very first thing that we know we want to do is activate the active skill for Kid Buu. This just gives him a straight up buff in battle, so obviously we're going to want to do that. He's at 1 million. Okay, and then we're looking at 600k here. Okay, so the only scary thing now is the Goku Frieza, right? So I gotta remind myself here, because our HP is above 77%, we're gonna want to tag switch into Goku. Because yeah, with the reversible exchange here, all of his stuff procs below 77%? No. Or above 77%, because it's below with the other one, right? And then he also has the guaranteed guard here. And then the bit of the nuke, and if we get the Rainbow Key Sphere, he'll have the damage reduction. Okay, so he should be okay here as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and proc that. And then his active skill, what does that do again? Recovers HP, gets attack for the turn, physical turns into Rainbow. Okay. So I guess let's try this. Physical orbs turn into rainbow orbs with his active skill. So keeping that in mind, let's try this. Physical to rainbow. That's kind of a lot of orbs right there for him to be able to select. Maybe I should just do that. And like not worry about the active skill. Because if the active skill's only going to be providing HP recovery, attack for the turn, and P-Sphere changing that we don't really need right now, maybe we should hold the active skill for a little bit later. What does the Frieza active skill do? Let's see here. That one just does a big attack and gives us crits for the turn. Okay. Let's just save it. Yeah, let's save that. Okay, and then I guess now the real kicker is, like, do we survive the turn? Right? Because what's our super attack effect here? Just raising defense. Oh, I guess we massively raise defense here. So, yeah, I guess as long as... Well, we do have guard. We have guard. So let's hope that that's going to be enough then with guard. Okay, 8 orbs selected. And then I guess this will just be an interesting... Like, we're still learning, right? We're still kind of adjusting to some of these character kits, seeing what they're capable of for us. So yeah, I don't really know how this tag switch Goku Frieza is going to perform here. It is kind of up in the air at this point. We'll see. I'm hoping they'll tank. I mean, I know that they'll tank normal attacks perfectly fine. That's probably a given. But as far as being able to tank a super attack, that's the main thing. Okay, it looks like we're not going to have to worry about that, though. But again, will Kid Buu tank it? That's another question mark. No. Oh, no. Alright, well... I guess we could have just double Whist there. I mean, even with one Whis active, we would have been fine there, right? Alright, let's try again. I think... I'm almost considering switching this one out for something that is going to give us attack power on some of these units, right? The problem is there's just, like, not a good orb that really covers everybody. Or a good support memory that covers everyone. Because we have such a weird split between all of our units. And Buu units suffer in here a lot. There's no... We really need to get updated versions of these. Because we have these ones for, you know, the Namek Saga characters, both super and extreme. And then the Cell Saga characters, super and extreme. But we don't have any others for... you know, being able to use, like, Buu Saga cards or anything like that. Androids or Earthlings? Yeah, that's not going to be good either. That literally just buffs Cell. This is just going to buff Cell. Yeah, there's nothing good in here to buff, like, Buu cards, unfortunately. That really does suck. Oh, actually, Worldwide Chaos. Let's do that one. Worldwide Chaos is going to give a buff to all 3 Buu cards, right? Yeah, Worldwide Chaos here, and then they should be on Worldwide Chaos as well. Okay. Oh, wait, and Cell, even. He should be on Worldwide Chaos. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. That's the one. Okay. That sounds good. Alright, so yeah, with that considered, we're going to have a little bit more attack power coming in, especially from the STR Kid Buu and the Cell, who are, like, 2 of our strongest damage dealers, right? So that's going to be very helpful. And then let's see if... Okay, our rotations aren't perfect because we had the 2 Fat Boos on turn 1 here, so that's not the most ideal thing. Oh, wow. That's nutty. Okay, so we're about to do massive amounts of damage here with Cell. 13 orbs. Yeah, okay, so let's do this. What are our stats looking like? Oh, yeah, quite good, quite good. Alright, and then we'll select all those. Okay, so we can still probably depend on putting Buu in slot 1 on the next rotation. We should tank this, right? With the extra damage reduction and stuff we've got on top of our defense. Yeah, perfect. I was going to say, no way with that many orbs selected we wouldn't tank. But yeah, that right there is a perfect example of why I wanted to have Tech Cell as, like, one of my slot 1s, and then have the STR Buu as the other slot 1. You just saw it right here. I think we were actually very close to winning on that next rotation, or on that last fight. We just needed to survive that one more rotation. Had we survived that, the next turn we were going to have the Vegito transformation, so that would have been another guaranteed turn of survival. And then after that, we would have had the Tech Cell and the STR Boo with one of the Fat Boos. Like, we would have had a very, very high damaging turn from that point, and we still would have had access to our double Whis, right? So yeah, I think this team definitely was on the right trajectory on that last run to get the win. It seems possible here. But yeah, so that definitely gives me some hope. It didn't seem like we were getting absolutely destroyed or blown out of the water. It seems like this team can keep up a little bit. Maybe surviving a little bit longer before we have to proc the revive is going to be helpful, though. So we'll see. Hopefully that becomes a thing as well. Okay. So we know that Goku is just like all stats. Basically, both these units are just all stats. So super attack is obviously going to hurt here, potentially. So hopefully we won't have to deal with something like that. Do I want to stick with same type orbs? I guess. Yeah, sure. Since he can't get 24 key spheres anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then same thing with Goku Frieza. They can't either, so we might as well get the same types to try and get closer to that Dokkan attack. Oh, man. And then the super happens right away. We're probably going to need to dodge this, or we're dead here. Oh, not even close. Okay, yeah, it's just really hard to gauge because, remember, he is going to be building up attack as the fight goes on, right? So the much earlier turns in the fight, he's not really that scary. Which I guess is why it's also smart that we switched out the support memory that we did. Because for the first couple of turns, we don't really need to have him, for him to have that attack debuff anyway. It's later in the fight that we would need that, but then the support memory falls off after the first 3 turns anyway. So it doesn't really make much of a difference, right? Okay, so this guy's going to come back on turn 4, this Vegito, and then we're probably going to rotate him off on that turn, so we can keep the Int Fat Boo around with the STR Kid Boo. So if we consider that, then he'll return on turn 7, and then we'll be able to use the transformation with him on turn 7. That's kind of what that's looking like. Alright, let's see some critical hits here. Yeah, Goku Frieza? Would love that. Otherwise, they're going to be doing no damage at all. Crits would definitely be nice right about now. Alright, we've got Majin Vegeta coming out. Very good, very good. Alright. And we're back to full HP as well. Always nutty to see that happen. Okay. 10 key spheres for Cell. So another very, very good turn for him. Looking pretty solid up front. And I want to give all of these to Majin Vegeta so that he can get the 6 key spheres plus the rainbow. So yeah, because of that, I'm going to select these. That way it doesn't disturb that path at all. And then there we go. Perfect. Weren't able to get a lot of same type orb selections there. That's fine. We're already at max HP, so it doesn't really matter for that. The main thing would just be for the Dokkan gauge filling, right? Because we do want that to happen sooner rather than later. And it looks like if we keep our rotations how they are, that Dokkan attack is going to be beneficial on either rotation, because the Kid Buu and the Cell are both going to be able to hit very, very hard to be able to handle that, right? So yeah, I guess it's just going to be a matter of surviving to that point. And then after that point as well, because this enemy has such a big HP pool, 350 million, that, you know, just the Dokkan attack alone, I imagine he's still going to have HP left after we get through that Dokkan attack, so. Hey, so far so good. I think we're doing a bit more damage here this time than we were before. We're only on turn 3. And he's looking somewhat comparable, you know, HP-wise to where we were when we got KO'd on the last run. Okay, still tanking perfectly fine at this point. Again, it's only turn 3, so there's still a lot more attack stacking to happen as he receives more and more attacks. Okay. So we're able to get the Kid Buu active skill off, buffing his stats a little bit more, which is good. 780,000. Okay. So now this is the part where I'm starting to get a little bit scared about, like, survival. I think I'm just going to pop one Whis. Let's not prioritize the revives this time, and maybe save them for a little bit later when we have no options left. I think for now, I would rather still allow my characters to attack and stuff. Because, like, okay, for instance, if we just throw him slot 1 right here and just forfeit the turn and get the free revive immediately because all these attacks are going to hit him way too hard pre-super, then we would just get KO'd immediately. And then that means that Kid Buu wouldn't get any build up for the turn, and the Vegito wouldn't get any build up for the turn. I don't really want that. So I think having the one Whis out is going to be nice for now, just to set ourselves up for doing more damage a little bit later on in the very near future, where it's gonna make a big difference, right? Okay, so with that being considered, what's the best way to get orbs here? I guess just this, and then we can grab these blue ones. Sure. Well, at least... Oh, he almost gets the 18 key. Doesn't even, though. That kind of sucks. That's definitely going to affect his build-up for the turn, right? Okay, and it looks possible like we might not have even needed to use the Whis there, but I am going to err on the side of the caution, because I think, based on, you know, how quickly we are dwindling his HP down, you know, that didn't feel too preemptive, like... You know, because obviously the biggest feels bad is when you have to blow all your items and then you still have like 10 plus turns of a fight that you have to survive and you've already exhausted your items. So, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time around. And then there we go. So now we won't have to take another chunk of damage. We should double digit tank this just fine. Nice. Okay, so that is going to be another rotation survived. And then on the next rotation, we know that we will have the... you know, we're still going to have the Whis active, which that actually works out really, really well in our favor. Because both the Tech Cell and the Tag Switch Goku Frieza are going to have damage reduction in their kits already. So stacked with the damage reduction from the Whis, they're going to be 100% safe on this next turn. And then the only unit that would even potentially be susceptible to taking damage would be the Int Buu, who has, one, such amazing healing abilities that if he does take some damage, he'll just heal it all back at the end of the turn anyway. And then 2, if he does end up getting KO'd even through the Whis, then he'll just revive. So, with that being considered, we are guaranteed safe this turn. So we'll tag switch into Goku because we want to be at him since we're over the 70% HP. And then we'll grab, let's see, it looks like 8 orbs per cell is going to be the most for this turn. Okay, no big deal, no big deal. So we've got the 8 orbs there. And then, I guess I really want to prioritize getting as many same type orbs as possible, right? Just for that Dokkan gauge. And then I'm considering, like, should we use his active skill just to try and do as much damage as possible? I don't think I want to. I think we're going to save it. He does have all the damage reduction up and stuff. Just remember, his active skill is only giving him offensive capabilities. So yeah, that'll be fine for now. Okay, do we tank this slot 1 super? There should be enough damage reduction for him to tank, yeah. Alright, and then now we are definitely safe for the next... for the rest of the turn. And then actually, you know, kind of thinking about it, the Whis wears off after this turn. So we could just pop the next one and get ourselves 2 more turns of free damage in here. Maybe that would be the smartest way to do it. I'm actually not 100% sure. Because we do also have the Vegito rotation to consider as well. That is going to be, another turn of very heavy damage and stuff. And where we're going to be, like, safe defensively. So maybe, maybe like forcing the revive on this next turn would be the right idea, because we could force the revive here, and then after forcing the revive, we would get the Vegito turn, which is another safe turn, and then after that, that's when we could activate the next Whis. The only problem, though, is that forcing the revive is a little easier said than done, especially when there's not a ton of slot 1 attacks like we're seeing right now. Because, yeah, if we run the rotation like this, if we don't use an item... I suppose it's... Yeah, it really feels like we probably do need to just use the item now. And then hope that between the next 2 rotations we do enough damage to just finish him off. Yeah, that's probably the right answer. Let's just go ahead and use the other Whis then. Okay, so then with that... Again, we want to try and prioritize Majin Vegeta getting that full passive active, so we want to try and get 6 orbs. The yellows, maybe, will fall into place properly. Yeah, there we go. Cool, alright, full passives active for everyone. And we should be safe again with the Whis. We're up to 27 million, holy moly. Quite large attack stats coming from Kid Buu here. You'll love to see it. Okay, awesome. An additional super, yeah? Oh, just the normal, just the normal. Okay, that's unfortunate. Obviously, that could have been better. We should be still safe here, defense-wise, with the Whis up. Yeah, there we go. Alright, and then we're going to get another good chunk of damage in here from Majin Vegeta. And then, yeah, it looks like next turn probably should be the last turn of the fight. Just gauging how much HP he's got left here. Most likely next turn will be the last turn of the fight. Because we have all the counterattack damage that's going to come in from the Vegito. And then we do have Texel around as well. And he obviously is going to be a very, very heavy damaging unit. So, not to mention that when we activate the Vegito, he also does an active skill that's going to provide like a damage deal immediately upon transformation, right? And then he also has the entire turn of counters with the target skill after that. Plus whatever super attacks he's going to do on that turn too. So, yeah, I can't imagine this Gohan is going to survive through the next turn with less than 2 bars of HP left. Probably not, bud. I think your fate is sealed. Oh, and actually, you know what's really funny? It's turn 7, so we're going to have access to the Ghost Usher now, right? That's really funny. So we're actually not going to use the Ghost Usher because we want all of these attacks to remain here, right? So that we can get extra damage from the counters. So, yeah, we're not even going to use that. Let's just go ahead and do this. And then we'll launch the active skill. Get some free damage in here. There we go. A little bit of chip damage in there is nice. Cool. And then we'll put him slot 1. We're going to grab all these physical orbs with him. Still enough to get him to 24 ki is perfect. And then look at that. So many orbs for Cell. We're able to get him to the 12 ki spheres. So if Vegito is unable to take it down, which he should have no trouble doing, then Cell will go ahead and finish things up for us. And because we have the Whis active still, on top of just, you know, he doesn't take damage in the target skill anyway, there's no way we're taking damage this turn. It's just not happening. So now pretty much the name of the game is just going to be sit back, relax, and wait for the dub. Just wait for the W to kick in. Since this Gohan is basically mathematically eliminated at this point. And then remember, each one of these super attacks that we do is just going to make the upcoming counterattacks hit even harder. So let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, 3 million damage on these counters. And they have, you know, increasingly heightened chances to crit every time we do a new one of them. So yeah, this guy could have had an extra 100 million HP. We might still have been able to kill him that turn. So there we go. not too difficult. Obviously, we did use items and support memories. That's a huge thing to consider. That was not nearly a no-item run. I'm sure it would have been possible to no-item. Maybe not with the Gohan. Well, here's the thing. We didn't use the Revive or either of the Ghost Ushers that time. Granted, the Whis helped us get through to a point where we didn't have to, but, you know, maybe it would have been possible. It just would require some more RNG and stuff. And then definitely I think it's possible if we had taken down one of the other fights, right? Because we did have the 3 options in there. That could have helped us no-item the stage. So maybe it could be possible if you were attempting to get the no-item clear there. You know, the Resurrected Warriors team could probably do it. There's enough good utility with those characters around that it wouldn't be that impossible. Not nearly as impossible as like the Kuroda Body and Mines, right? Okay, so there we go. Nonetheless, we get our last skill orb from the entire anniversary battle. All of the missions are done. There we go. Finally, we have finished it. So really quick before we go, you know, over to the Hidden Potential tab and apply our last little bit of skill orbs there, I want to flash this team at you real quick. So this is an alternate team that I came up with. If, you know, the Int Boo wasn't going to be working out as, like, a leader or something, we needed to switch up the build a little bit. This is what I was going with. Obviously, we still have, like, about 4 of the same units on the team. A lot of these units, you know, the Resurrected Warriors is not that strong of a category, so you are going to be depending on a couple of these staple units to make a really good team. But this would be, you know, another potential option that you have for something that's more of a Broly build than a Boo build. So yeah, that is another potential option that I was going to switch to if we saw too much trouble with the other team. But yeah, nonetheless, we were able to get things taken care of. So let's go ahead and take a look at our very last units that we have to update skill orbs for. And that is going to be the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Alright, so Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here, he's got the level 9 defense, the level 6 dodge and defense, and then for that gold slot, he's got the 6 crit and 6 additional. Now, these raw defense ones are very good, right? The raw defense you really can't go wrong with, and I would say comparative to the really, really small buffs that you have in the bronze slot, the raw defense is a good way to go. You know, just considering you're only going to be able to get like level 1 or level 2 additionals and crits and dodge and stuff, I would say the fact that you're getting a whole 900 points of defense is probably a little better than that at this point. So yeah, we probably will end up putting that skill orb on him. And then for the bronze slot, this is just a staple skill orb. Having the 6 dodge, 6 defense is so good here. So we'll definitely be applying that one as well. And then him having the 6 crit and additional, I think is a really good skill orb for him. Just because he is a very attack-based unit, right? And especially before his entrance animation wears off, he's doing a lot of additional attacks for you that are very hard-hitting. So having the crits and the extra additionals in there and stuff is going to be really, really solid for him. So yeah, all 3 of these I would say are pretty good skill orbs for the character. I guess if you didn't really want to go the dodge route and you really, really want to pardon me, focus on his like offensive abilities, then I guess I could see you not using this silver skill orb. I just think because it's a level 6 dodge and it provides so many points of defense, you really can't go wrong with basically any character in the game having this. So me personally, I am going to be applying that skill orb. So yeah, here I'll be replacing the 6 attack on him with this 9 defense, which I think will be fine. I guess that was a little bit of a silly move by me, picking one of those physical type, you know, orbs that you can't get anymore and putting it on an anniversary character that I knew was going to be getting updated equips soon. So that was a bit of a whoopsie by me. But then here we go. I thought ahead with the, you know, level 5 dodge. We're going to get that back to be able to put on a different character as we add the level 6 dodge here, so that's good. And then obviously I don't have him rainbowed yet, or to 79%, where we'd be able to apply that gold skill orb. So for now, he will have to sit like this. And that is going to finally close out the anniversary battle stages. We are done with the anniversary battle, and now I can finally go ahead and jump into, you know, the multiple red zone stages that we have to take down and the battle hardened formidable foe fights. We've got lots of other content that I still have to catch up on. So yeah, but we are finally done with the anniversary battle. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me. That is going to do it for this one. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.